Hey, welcome to Sports Talk. I'm Scotty Borel. Man, we are live this morning at Poche in Breaux. Man, that's the only place where you can get a half a ticket. You get to eat twice out of one plate lunch, man. Awesome, awesome. It's the St. Martin's Parish football kickoff tour, man. I have coaches and players from Breaux, Cecelia, and St. Martinville. You will get a chance to hear their views and their aspects of the upcoming 2025 season. So stay tuned and listen to some great information. Always support these young men and support the coaches here in St. Martin's Parish. We want to thank Floyd Poche for allowing us to come here this morning to use this facility for Sports Talk. We want to thank T-Mobile and the guys for the coaches gift. And coaches, if you're listening, T-Mobile has a great program called Friday Night Lights where you can have a chance to win some money for your program. Just a little FYI, we are a winner already in St. Martin's Parish. And so it's a great program to benefit your program in the near future. Please call any representative of any T-Mobile store and they can give you more information. Once again, we want to thank Floyd Poche here at Poche's Restaurant and Meat Market here in the Breaux, Cecelia area. Once again, where you can get all the specialty meats, all the plate lunches, etc., etc. Visit Floyd Poche and the staff here at Breaux. We're going to start off the show with the Breaux Tigers, man. We want to introduce the coaching staff, a couple of coaches, and one of the players. Coach, we'll let you start off with you, head coach.
Yeah, head coach Tyler Pierce.
Offensive coordinator, Benjamin Gonzalez.
All right, Chris, somebody come up here and tell you something, all right? You're with family. I'm a Breaux guy, too. If you didn't know that, I graduated. I wore that maroon and white. Don't tell us. Well, but guys, listen. Breaux Tigers, man. Second year, Tyler Pierce. Know the numbers are low, but man, outstanding enthusiasm. Watching you guys on the sideline the other night. Let's talk about the team a little bit.
Well, we're gonna be thin in some areas, but the one thing is for us, it's an all hands on deck. It's really got to get to the point where it's the next man up situation. If somebody gets a helmet knocked off, I mean, we have to make sure that that person. It could be a freshman, it could be a guy who was not on the team last year. They got to be put in, and main thing is just develop that trust. And one thing that we have to kind of realize to ourselves, I think with Nish during the scrimmage, I think we did well. I think for some of the things we relaxed a little bit Friday going against Lafayette High for whatever reasons, and the focus is the number one thing that this team and for us is just having to realize that every rep and every not only just every rep, just our mental focus and our preparation from what you do outside of the field house to enter the field house is really how far this team will be, because we have the one. We just have to make sure that we're really locked and loaded to go into each game. Because again, with about 40 players, a lot of freshmen and a lot of new faces, they're going to feel it if they want to or not.
Absolutely. Well, we was at the game the other night. We thought you guys did an outstanding job in the second half. Like you said, a lot of inexperienced players. It took a little time for them to get their feet on the ground. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I believe a lot of it is just you get to see the aspect of what a stadium is. During the scrimmage, it's relaxed. The coaches are out there on the field, and to really throw them in the fire, and linemen and D linemen and secondary. You don't have one of our coordinators, one of the coaches set them up. I think the first half everybody was just kind of a little bit tense. I think they were trying to kind of overthink some situations, and but the one thing is really just film corrects a lot of it. It's not silly mistakes as far as what in the world's going on here, why you're doing that per se. They want to do the right thing. It's just the film shows this is why you got to do it, how you got to do it all the time. So, but it was nice to see.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your staff. You have Coach here on your left. Let's talk a little. Coach, let's bring you in. Introduce yourself again and where you're from.
My name is Benjamin Gonzalez. Coming here from Breaux High School. I was there for 5 years. Before that, I did a stint in Houma, Louisiana at Vanderbilt.
Okay. So, Coach, it's the new scenery and everything. Give me a new aspect of how's it going so far and how's summer?
Things are going great, surprisingly, I feel like the mentality here at Breaux is not much different than in Breaux. Both, small towns, both kind of have that blue collar mentality. So I think, we bringing in the beer offense, it's kind of a perfect fit.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, I mean, we used to be built on running football back in the old days. So I'm kind of like you, pound, and then we decide to pass when need be. But let's talk about the season coming up, Coach. You open up in Nacogdoches next week. What's your opinion on how Nacogdoches Central and how we're going to work our way to the
Well, I think for a lot of it is really not going anything differently than what we have to do. We just have to fix, those small little details, things that, again, sometimes when you're tired, when you have different things going on, it's really just stressing the level of, from whistle to whistle, making sure that, they can have the mental shape. We can be in physical shape, but we know how it is. Even to go out there, you cut all the grass, and now you still got to weed eat and all that other stuff. You got to rake grass. They got to learn how to really be able to kind of have that every single thing focus. And but mental shape is really what I would say. Mental shape to me is just focus. But just for Nacogdoches Central, not going to do a whole lot of what we haven't seen already. We've done a little bit of preparation over the past couple of weeks with what they did last year. So this year, for this one, to see what they have. They got a good quarterback. They have really good coaches. Work with them, Coach Laird and Coach Thomas, and got a couple of friends that are on staff up there. And they're good. They're athletic. And they're trying to take their program to elevate one. And I'm giving some of the kids, and they already know it. Is one way that a lot of teams from North Louisiana, they want to see what they do against people down here in South Louisiana. So we know that they're going to give their all. And I just want us to match that energy, if not, time stands by.
That's the fine point. When you mentioned playing different schools in different areas, we don't do that enough. I remember in the old days when I was in school, we play in the south part of the state. We'll go up to the west part of the state, and we'll play these different schools. And you got a chance to kind of see what area of football or basketball. I'm a basketball player, so I was too small to get in. I ain't gonna tell you my nickname when I was a kid, but I was too small to get in. I couldn't strengthen them. So that means I didn't know that that grew up with me. So I'm like, I'm not getting hit. But no, I think we need to do that enough so the kids can have a feel of the area of football. Every area has a different style. You know that yourself. But so, Coach, moving further along, let's talk about some of the players. We have this young man here. You want to talk about?
I do, and one thing with Christian has done an excellent job of, even last year, he'll be able to tell you, he was seen as a D lineman. And since I walked through the door, he'll tell you, it says, you're not just a D lineman, you're an O lineman. We don't just do one thing. We do plethora of things. We're going to buy into the special teams, and he's been a good vocal leader, a great vocal leader since day one. He had a little issue, and one good thing is, why I'm glad he's able to come this morning is he finally gets to put those pads on as the senior year goes against Nacogdoches Central, which is huge for him because he may not realize it, but we need him just as much on that field and with his energy and his enthusiasm. On the sidelines, he's been doing a great job, but going into his senior year, we want him to be able to see it and do his thing. He's ready for it.
So last year, what did he have? He had a significant injury?
He just had a little shoulder. He had a little shoulder surgery over the spring, and like anything, we're all impatient people. We wish he would have been back during the scrimmage, but we're doing things smart and ease him in, and now he's ready to go. And he's a guy we're going to lean on. And that's one of the biggest things. We need him through the grind of the regular season, to be smart, going into.
Well, Christian, Coach, we put a lot of pressure on you here in this interview. So, are you ready to accept the challenge? And tell me what is Christian's goal for this year, and what is the goal for the team?
Like I said, I had a football spring, so I mean, really just mostly just being there all summer with him. I was like impatient, like I wanted to be out there so bad, so my way of playing was like, yeah, a lot of young guys just getting them right, so like, that brought me some of the enjoyment of playing, it was helping them. And as far as my goals for the year, I had a little injury last year, and now this is a year for me. I think that maybe the real goal is change it all with that.
So, being a senior and a leader, what was your message to the guys in the locker?
It just we trying to change like the culture.
Yeah.
We don't went back to the race and all. It's like come to sure that just want to be in tough and try to be speed and fast and stuff. We want to cover the direct. So it's like being tough.
So, being a leader carries a lot of weight. And listening to you that you are ready to accept that challenge, being going into your senior year, what would be the biggest thing for your team this year, in your opinion, if you could accomplish that? What would be the biggest?
Really, I think it's about us. If we got a lot of young guys, but we got some good athletes. Isaiah and all the Baylor, Sean Collins, but it really, we got the leaders and we got the young guys up. We gonna go out there and make plays, but they all gotta be going to really this time. Like to say, we want to show that we can play, so we feel that we can think of each strong. The whole thing of it.
Well, one thing I want to say, y'all build a great relationship. You know, as a player, you might look back and say, well, we're not winning many games, I could walk away from this. But the relationship y'all build with Coach Beard, how strong is that?
Yeah, I mean, at first, it was like the first day when you first came, we all looked at him like, who's that? Intimidating. But, I mean, now, like, adversity here, we had a lot of injuries, but it just, as you can see through the time, Smith was like, he really invested in it, and he really does care about football. Like, that's not really, that's a part of the message too, but it's just in there, just getting the culture person, and it just
Get better. Well, you know, I like to say that if your high school coaches or your junior high coaches never left an impression on you when you walk away from school, they did not do a good job. That's my opinion. Because I get walking down the hallways at Cecelia High and working with some of my former players, I get hugs and love. I mean, to me it's amazing. So, coaches, I know you would probably agree with me, both of you guys. If they don't walk away feeling that you was my guy, my mentor, I think we didn't do a great job in my opinion. So, if we go back to coaching the offensive line, coach, talk about some of the guys in the trenches, man.
Yeah, so we have Christian up here, and we also have Big Lane, Luke Landry. Those are kind of our cornerstones right now. Right now we're kind of going to be changing up a few things. Right now we have a competition. That's 5 each week.
That's a good thing when you have in practice.
For sure. And it all comes down to, who's going to be disciplined, do what they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it, the way it's supposed to be done.
Absolutely. Well, we'll come back to you, Coach Pierce. Got a couple of young, talented young guys. You had one the other night, I think it's last week, got the interception. Let's talk about some of these young upcoming kids.
Well, that's what's so fun about it, and even knowing we got 70 kids on the junior high football team there at Breaux, and it's there's a lot of youth coming. We had a lot of freshmen that played last year. Even like even though Chase Broussard got the interception the other day, he's a junior. Last year was really one of the first years that we threw him out. Fire came over. from baseball and stuff, and did a great job for us. And he's one of the kind of guys that you look at as a junior, maybe as a outside looking in, but on the inside, those are guys that they are leaders. It's not just the seniors, Chase, but a lot of the freshmen that played last year, like we had the Cohen Celestine, we call him Pop. He started every game. We had Big Percy Moultrie, who started every game as a D lineman last year, and those guys are just sophomores. But whenever we look at them, and I think Christian would agree, they're not sophomores. They're leaders of the team. They're guys who have to step up, and and that's what's so fun is seeing those guys, knowing that when they become the 2, 3, 4-year starters, now they should be bored at practice because they've done so much over it that they're just reacting. There's no thinking to it. I'd be lying. We still have thinking on both sides, and we're shuffling things. Like Shawnee Lewis for us is going to be a key cog of defense, and he was more of an inside linebacker, but now he's having to get a feel of an outside linebacker. But he's a senior. He's good. Got all the faith in the world with him, but that's a new position that he has to have that reps in. So. But what's fun is the youth movement is there, but we have such great leadership from the seniors and then from guys who are just on the team because, I think that's really where it starts. They know the standards. They just have to make sure that all these new guys follow in line with it. It's tough. They know it's a tough thing to do. Christian has found out being a leader, it's tough sometimes there at that leadership role. And we've had some good talks, and the more people who kind of understand the leadership comes with some uncomfortable decisions, that's what these young folks are really about.
Well, I'd like to say that a lot of young guys don't do the research and go back to the history and look at the former players that came through Breaux and Cecelia. We had a lot of talented young men and ladies who come through the area. I think a lot of guys need to go back and research and look at the old film. Because fundamentals win games, in my opinion. If you don't have any fundamentals in your respective sport, I don't think you have the game down pat. So, Coach, you want to mention some of the other coaches that are not here that will be helping the Tigers this year?
I do. Of course, Coach Barrett was trying to make it this one as defensive coordinator, and what was really nice with him is, there's no new system that he's doing. It feels like it. Christian is. He knows too, because he's been that coach, kind of making sure it's, it's a new system for some, but overall, the guys who've been in it, it's not just we've been teaching this since June. So having a year up under his belt, really just having a good feel of what the kids can do. Last year, we had no idea we could run fast, run slow. We might look at one kid and say, man, he looks like a corner. And he was probably slow enough. He might even be on the D-line or O-line with us. But we know the personnel. So for Coach Barrett, and the defensive staff, which we have, we still call him Coach Mo, but Coach Mo Watts, his son, Gabriel LeBlanc doing the D-line. And
no time to move out. Coach Mo Watts' grandson. It's not a coach at the
Exactly. And he's and he's wanting to carry it on, and he knows he has pressure. And, come to follow behind anything with Coach Mo, but he's doing a great job. And then we have Coach Tyler Thibodeau, who's another guy that I coach, which now makes me feel older because at least it gives me a little bit of staple down there with him and Little Mo. But having two guys that coach there at Breaux now on staff is huge. And then we have Coach Robbie Broussard, who's also going to be somebody who helps us. And one good thing about Coach Robbie is he's from the area. He knows all the kids. He knows everybody's, all the kids' parents, grandparents, uncles, and everything. So if there's anybody that we have to search or find out about, that's a great resource to have. Because me, Coach Benji, Coach Barrett being more of a caring guy, you got to have some guys that can go chase some of those family people down, especially if you need to figure out where maybe one
who they are.
Yes, exactly.
I have somebody like that in my life. He's sitting over there. I call him back. He knows everybody. And when I need a phone number or something, I'm like, hold on. I know he knows everyone. But Coach, year 2, correct? Year 2, and trying to get it back to where it used to be, but it's going to take some time. Because like they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes a little time, but in my opinion, for my being a graduate of Breaux High, and y'all are doing an outstanding job. I tell you, any coach that works with kids, whether they win a game or not, is doing an outstanding job because people don't realize what it takes as a coach. And I say that being a former coach, the after effect, waiting on the parent, driving them home, making sure they ate, doing the necessary thing to make sure this kid is comfortable to play in a game and feel like he's part of the team. It takes more than just going to practice. So I commend you and your staff for doing that. In closing, any words for the fans, for the Tigers fans, for this 2025 season to get them out there and come on to support these kids?
Well, that's the main thing is just the support. And, overall, it's, look, we're all trying to get the best out of every player. Every player is trying to get the best out of themselves. And, one of the biggest things is to be positive. One thing that you got to know, and for the fans is, there might be growing pains, there'll be good times, bad times, whether you're the best team in the state, whether you, wherever you fit in line. And, for us is to understand that, we all in this together. Whenever I think Breaux, again, I was an activist guy. Who came down here, I was in the north about 10 guy, but now I've got 3 kids that's been born around here. This is home, and for us, it's just we want to get it to that point where we know we can get it to. And really for a lot of the energy that they get, it comes from the stands. It comes from seeing people appreciating what they do, and even if they see one, just a little positive message. How's things looking? That goes a long way. And I remember as a kid, and of course I was big enough. I might have been in the grocery store, and you have somebody who just comes up and says, "Hey, how's it looking this year? Good job." And, when you're a kid and a player, you don't really see that, and feel that, but you feel like you're just larger than life. It goes a long way.
It does. I mean, even at our age, my age, when you walk up to those people, people still remember me as a player. I'm like, wow, we didn't have 3-pointers back then, but it still went in the basket. Any closing remarks, Coach? But I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed going anyway. Coach, any closing remarks for the fans? And, tell them what we can expect for the Tigers and come on out to support these young men.
All I can say is kind of a quote from old Texas coach. What's that? Mac Brown. He used to say, "Come early, stay late."
There you go. Christian, tell the fans what can they expect out of the 2025 Tigers.
First, better coach, a lot different, and the winning will come with that.
Right. Listen, guys, come on out and support the Breaux Tigers 2025 season. These young men need all the love and support. No matter, don't pay attention to the scoreboard, pay attention to the kids, because they need our support more than the scoreboard need our eyes. So pay attention to them and support these young men. Come on out to the games. Don't forget the rivalry game, Breaux, Cecelia, Breaux, St. Martinville, Cecelia. Those games mean a lot in Paris. All the way back from the Martinville days, guys. If y'all don't know what Martinville is, y'all wearing them. So go home and ask mom and dad, what I'm wearing Martinville? What that man meant? Good day. Doing the underwear thing. Got you. But now, this is Sports Talk with the Breaux Tigers here live at Poche in Breaux. The only place you can get a half a ticket and you can eat twice out of that one particular place. Coach Tyler Chris, we want to thank you, brother. Good luck. Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck to you. The season, Christian, good luck. This is the Breaux Tigers, y'all. Thank y'all. Right. Next, we're going to have St. Martinville Tigers come on up right quick. Coach, how are you? Go ahead and introduce yourself. St. Martinville Tigers.
Garrett Kramer, St. Martinville.
Okay, Coach.
Taylor Lashley.
All right, coaches, congratulations on your new job and your new staff. Let's talk a little bit about yourself, who you are, Coach, and let all the fans know who got it.
Good to be here at St. Martinville now. I have ties to St. Martinville. My dad was a principal there for years. And, I was a teacher and coach, and I grew up on those sidelines watching games. So it's a special place for me. Good to be there. We have a good staff. We got offensive line coach Taylor Lodgeley here with me. We've grown our relationship. For the short time we've been together, and we're clicking and finding out what's best for us offensively. And he's done a great job as our offensive line coach and run game coordinator. So I'm thankful for his appearance today. So just looking for a good season and hope we'll get ready for a big week 1 matchup against Cecelia.
All right, Coach, you want to talk a little bit about your staff? I know you mentioned coaches here. Anybody else on the staff? Anybody that you brought in and anybody that stayed with you?
Yeah, most of our coaches were already on staff, but I did bring in our new defensive coordinator, Chris Bland. He's done a really good job of calling our defense and getting our guys to buy into the process and the scheme. So really thankful for him and his efforts. And we have on the defensive side, defensive backs coach Kyle Poche does a really good job in the back end of them. Linebackers coach Trey Williams, who is a St. Martinville alum, played running back at St. Martinville years ago. Trey Benjamin is our running back coach. He played running back at St. Martinville a couple years ago for us. Yeah, and my dad is on staff helping out defensive ends, and that's kind of his comfort zone, what he played back in his playing days. Jordan Guidry is our defensive line coach as well. He's also a St. Martinville alum. And Kanan Leon is our strength and conditioning coach and wide receiver coach. He does a good job where I live, so our day-to-day processes every day. And so just so thankful for everybody on our staff that has put in the work, sacrifices to be a mentor for all of our kids. And, not just coach at practice and at the games, but all the time. Somebody needs a ride. They're there to go pick up the kid, give them a ride, help out whenever in need. So just very thankful for everyone and everything they've done.
Right. Well, people don't realize we mentioned in the previous segment that coaches do more than just coach the game, and people don't see all we do the crying out, and the laughing and all that. But Coach, you mentioned your dad, and everything. Special was that when they called you and offered you this job?
It was special, and just to be able to come back to St. Martinville where I have so many memories is good, and I'm looking forward to the challenge and excited about the opportunity. And I know my dad's really loving it being out there on the practice field again. So he's found a new energy about him. So it's been great so far.
Okay, we're gonna turn to your offensive line coach. Coach, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
So my name is Taylor Lodgeley. I'm from Youngsville. I played at Breaux High School, and I've been coaching for a few years now. This opportunity with Coach Kramer has meant the world to me. Being a part of this team, this staff, it's something special, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Just on a daily basis, just trying to do my absolute best to be the best I can for the kids and try to pull the best out of them, be the best that I can be on a daily basis because they feed off that energy.
Absolutely. So, with your overall, what do you bring to the table that you would say that would benefit the kid, and just all overall your experience?
I feel like my football knowledge is very good. I feel like I bring X's and O's, but I also feel like I bring a fire and a passion to the game that the kids feed off of. I feel like if I can teach it and also showcase what I want them to accomplish, I feel like that brings a better version of them out because they can see it visually. So I feel like I'm that type of teacher, that type of coach that can showcase what needs to be learned and what needs to be done.
In your opinion, how have y'all embraced each other, the group of linemen, and in your opinion, how that comes?
I feel like it's a process. It's a daily process. The kids, they bought into what we are trying to do. They're fighting every day to get better. They're putting in the extra work. They care about winning. They care about putting together a winning product on the field. And it's something that chemistry is not going to come overnight. It's something that has to be earned over time. And that trust on the field is very important for offensive linemen. So, especially offensive linemen, because we all have to be one unit, one having that chemistry together. But yeah, so it's a process, but we're working on it every day, and we're putting the care in kids every week.
Well, Coach, we're going to turn back to you, Coach Kramer. Let's talk about some of the players. Let's talk about on the offensive side of the ball. Who are some of the guys you're expecting a lot from this year?
Our senior quarterback, Kyrie Francisco, we're going to have a great year from him. Last year he was hurt, I believe, week 2 and missed a bunch of games, so I know he's itching to get back at it. It's his senior year. He's playing with a lot of confidence now, and he's done a good job of learning the offense in a short amount of time. And so we're going to rely on him to make some big plays with his arm and legs. Some other guys to look out for is our wide receiver, KJ Fontenette. Who's a great player for us. He's a leader. He works hard. He's the first one in the room, the last one to leave. So we need his leadership and the energy he brings. Jamie James is a speedy wide receiver for us who can stretch the field and make some plays for us. So we're going to have big plays from him. And Julian Stewart will be in the backfield at running back. He's a good, strong back, a strong runner who can run it, and he can also block. So we're excited about him and what he brings to the table. Up front, talking about our big boys, our right tackle, we have Jatira Boudreaux, who's just an accountable kid who does his job, doesn't say a whole lot, but he just does his job and fights for his brothers. At right guard, we have Sam Colton, who is he's got a little nastiness to him, doesn't he, Coach? He's one of our saltier players on the O-line, so we like that.
You need that a little bit.
We need that, yep. And our center, Jalen Turpo, he's a 2-year starter, and he's consistent snapping the ball, and that's something you can't always take for granted in high school football, is that shotgun snap. A lot of people don't realize that, but that's a big thing. And so we're thankful for his snaps. Our left guard is Torian Abear, who has been up there for a while now with the offensive line. He's learning it day by day and getting better, so he's got to stick with the process. And left tackle is Bobby Harris. He's our big body. We like for him to get his hands on people and maul them. So excited about our offensive line. Everything that Coach Scotty is doing with them, getting coached up, getting them tough. And then we have some guys playing both ways. We're going to have 2 guys playing at the tight end spot, which will be Cohen Clues and Tyron Johnson, who also play linebacker for us. And they'll also might be in the backfield at times. So we're going to need those guys to step up and play important roles for us.
Well, you got some players, man, that come from traditional families. You name KJ Fontenette, man, dad and uncle were exceptional players at St. Martinville, and Cohen Clues' dad was a great player at Breaux. So a lot of good blood, sweat, and tears right there. So, Coach, let's tell the fans here what kind of style of football we can expect with St. Martinville this year.
Well, we want to be fast and physical, everything that we do. So look for us to do that. We want to have a downhill run game where we run it at you, but then we can also spread it out and throw the ball around the yard a little bit. So it's just we're gonna take what the defenses give us. Don't try and do too much. Everybody's got to understand there's 10 other guys out there on the field that they can make plays, and they don't have to do everything. We don't always have to take the big shot, get the home run ball every time. Just take what the defense gives us. Just play smart football.
Well, Coach, we'll turn back to you. Let's tell the fans of St. Martinville what we expect this year. The new look like
Hopefully we can be the ones that can establish the tone, bring the punch, be the ones who set the tone every game. We need to be the physical ones from the jump. We need to showcase our talent and showcase that we can play smart, protect the football, and do everything, the little things right.
Well, we sure was excited. I covered the game on Friday night. We were so excited watching a little bit, especially the second half. They did great coming out with the ball in the second half. I thought they did an outstanding job. The touchdown before halftime probably was the straw that broke the camel's back. I figured you'd get in there, but great preseason look. So, Coach, in a nutshell, St. Martinville football, I'm going to say one paragraph. Let's say this. We work with all the parents, kids. Everybody wants those traditional games to get back. Let's talk about, remember the old days of St. Martinville, Breaux game, St. Martinville, Cecelia game, and you couldn't get there. You have to get there very, very early. We want to bring it back. Would you agree?
I agree. There's some big time games back then, and just excited for the opportunity to continue these rivalries and just some great schools with great talent, some great coaches. So it's going to be fun to be able to compete, and excited about the opportunity and the challenge. And so we'll see.
Well, we want to thank you guys for coming. I know it's Sunday morning, but we do this for the kids. It's a new and upcoming show. Coach Scotty was a former coach in the area. So we just started telling my guy Terry Stewart now just to bring back to the kids. Let people see there's great athletes in St. Martin Parish. It's always the other areas that get enough coverage. So we're going to be covering you guys this season. You're going to see us at some of the games, not all of the games, and I'm going to call you someday. We're like, this man is policy, but no, it's for the kids. It's for St. Martin Parish. That's why we do it. We want to wish you the best of luck this year. We can help you out in any kind of way. Once again, we want to thank Mr. Floyd Poche for allowing us to come here and doing this morning. T-Mobile for the coaches gift. We got some coaches gift for you. We want to make sure you guys register for the T-Mobile giveaway. One of the schools in St. Martin Parish already won. So the registration is free. Take a look at it, coaches, and hopefully we can help benefit your program. Any closing remarks, Coach?
Thank you so much, Scotty, for having us. Appreciate all the work you've done in this show, and we're excited for the season to kick off, and so ready to go Tigers.
Thank you very much. Good luck to the St. Martinville Tigers this year, 2025. Thank you, Coach. All right. All right. Last but not least, we're going to bring them in a second, the defending state champions, the Cecelia Bulldogs. But we're going to bring in Mr. Floyd Poche, the man who does so much for St. Martin Parish. Come on in there, Mr. Floyd. Have a seat, sir. First and foremost, man, thank you for everything you do for St. Martin Parish, for school, for me. Words could not express. Thank you so much.
Thank you all, and I really enjoy doing it for you, and I don't take it out here, push it downtown, push it really.
Well, we always come for the Buddha and the crackers and the good foods. And I was just bragging. I was like, you the only plate lunch you can eat twice out the plate, a half a chicken, and you cut it in half. You have dinner and supper, man. But
The only one that would be
the whole thing. So you have to still remember double. But no, we just wanted to say thank you so much for what you do for all the schools in the parish and what you do for the community here in St. Martin Parish. Once again, words cannot express our gratitude for what you do. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Scotty, for all you do. For starting up this program and trying to make it a success of the high school coaches and all that.
Well, I appreciate it. So far, we're in year 2. It's been gratifying, and when I contact the coaches, man, they don't hesitate to support us. So, once again, Floyd Poche, guys, just thank them for allowing us to come here. Floyd Poche, thank you, brother. All right, up next, the final team of the morning. defending state champions, the Cecelia Bulldogs, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Floyd. Appreciate it.
Well, once again, we're live at Poche's here in Breaux, man, one and only 63 years of business here. Man, the chickens don't even pass in front of the restaurant because they don't want to get caught. We're going to bring them in here, guys. The Cecelia Bulldogs, the defending state champions. We have head coach Coach Scotty. We have defensive guy Frankie Frank and offensive Mr. Athlete Braylon Collins. You want to hand me that microphone here? All right. Look, you get a microphone. We're waiting on the coach Alfonso. Y'all want to share that? We'll get Coach Alfonso. Yeah. But we're going to get started. The Cecelia Bulldogs, once again, the defending state champion, new head coach, offensive coordinator from last year, Coach Scotty. Cody, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Man, thank you for always coming out supporting me when I called you. You never hesitate. You never hesitate to say no or anything if you can't go figure it out. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean of Students, Alfonso Williams here, Cecelia Bulldog. Well, but Coach, back to you, man. Thank you again. But let's talk about, I don't want to say it's a new team, because you were there last year, but new man in charge. How's it going? Let's talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, new's a great word to use. We have, it's, me and Coach Fonz is probably the only two guys back in offense, so we have a new staff there. You have a few new guys on defense, but you have a few guys, I'm talking coaching-wise, stepping up that were there on the coaching staff last year. So big thing is, like, the coaches are starting to gel, and I think that's kind of where we at now. We're kind of figuring each other out, and especially on offense, what's expected on my end as a coaching staff and as a head coach now. So yeah, new is a great word to use. I think we have a lot of kids that played last year and played a lot, but their expectations is a little bit greater than they were last year. And then you have some starters, especially O-line wise, where they're starting to feel their way through.
Well, how should I say it? One step up to become the head coach. Was it a big change in your opinion?
I think the biggest thing I've felt is time management is the big thing. Just trying to manage everything, and I'm still going to be offensive coordinator. Maybe not for long, but for a little while at least. I think I have a great staff on the offensive side. I think some of those guys are going to step up in a couple of years, take the reins of that.
Well, I thought, working around you guys, it was a great hire. We was all anticipating that you was going to get the call, and you did. We was all thrilled. I don't know if anybody saw the video on my network that when you got the kid was announced that you became the head coach, how ecstatic they was in the cafeteria. So all they did was just move you up one position as the leader in charge, and the kid was just thrilled. So let's talk about, you mentioned new coaches. Let's talk about some of the coaching staff.
Yeah, sure. Offensive wise, you have Coach Alfonso next to me. Actually, he's going to step up and take a big role in offense now. He's going to signal for me. Great hire, Coach Caleb Carter, alumni, played at UL, and he was also an analyst at UL last year. Another guy, Chaz Ward. I think he's going to be an unbelievable coach. He actually just finished playing at UL last fall, and I think he's fitting in really well with what we have. I think we have a great mix of young and old coaches. So you got Coach Matt Autry, who's not an alum of Cecelia, but he's a Cecelia guy. Who's going to coach the O-line. Then on the defensive side, you got J.C. Falk, who's going to be our coordinator. Been with us, I think going on 11, 12 years maybe. Coach D, Coach Logan Dupleshin, he's the D-line coach. Been doing that for years. You got Kate Poirier, who's going to step up and work with the defensive backs. You also have some freshman staff coaches there, and Coach Talley, Coach Chase Talley, who's going to run the freshman bars. Bronson Pat kind of helps out. I know he got a job recently where he can't come every day, but we got Bronson Pat. Ben Terrio, Big Ben Terrio, who's thinking about going into coaching. I think Ben's going to, if he wants to be a coach, he's going to be a pretty good one too. You got Coach Donovan Williams helping out, bigger role this year too. On the freshman staff, is going to head up our defense for freshmen. So
Yeah, he loves defense.
Yeah.
He loves defense.
You got Hunter Key there, who kind of helps out on Fridays. He's another guy who wants to coach and just going through the process of teaching. Going to school and working and trying to help out there. Am I missing anybody? I'm trying to think.
I think we got pretty much everybody.
And Coach Kim you might see Coach Kim on the sidelines. We're actually trying to get Coach Kim on in a different role, not as a teacher, but some in the school board if we can. So we might end up getting Coach Kim.
That's great. Well, dude, that thing up there. The names all ring a bell. So they're all local guys. And I think that means a lot to the kids when you see the faces that you're going to see in the store or around the community. And I think that helps out a lot because now a kid can be conscientious. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm going to run into one of my coaches one day because they all live around here. And I think that helps out a lot in my opinion. But new staff, new overall look. People expect that Cody Champagne back in the state championship week. What's the expectation? Just tell us, man.
I mean, expectation has always been the same. I mean, I know when I first started coaching, everybody was afraid to think that or say that. But when Coach Haynes got here, that was his expectation, and he willed that expectation to the truth. So why wouldn't we want to play the last game of the season every year? That's our goal, and it's not a 1 week thing. It's a mountain we got to climb, and we got to just keep getting better each week. And I think that's the expectation that we should have.
Absolutely. Well, everybody should have that expectation. But I was speaking from when you get to that pivotal game, consecutive year, people want to think, well, every year we should be that. And I'm going to go to you, Chief Alfonso. In a nutshell, how do you feel this year could play out in your mind?
Well, we know the standard now. We've been there, we've done it. Under Dennis Gaines' leadership, with Coach Scotty pretty much doing everything that he does now, Coach Scotty took over the hat now, so he understands the assignment as well too. So we pretty much know the standard, Coach. We've been there, we've been to the championship. What's great about that is everybody thinks that the championship is all the glory, the rings, and all that good stuff. What people fail to realize is that now that you have that under your belt now, you understand how to do it now. You understand what it takes, the responsibilities on and off the field. So with that being said, man, we understand our roles now. We understand exactly what it is to actually get there. So responsibilities have changed, but that doesn't mean that we don't understand the standard and what it takes. So with Coach Cody, man, and we both talk to Dennis a lot of times in aspects of what it takes, and we understand championship mentality. That's what we think here at Cecelia. That's the goal. That's the mind frame. So he would always relate to us that, your offensive coordinator's in here right now, your defensive coordinator's in here right now, the next man up mentality. So it's not like we don't know exactly where we're headed or what's gonna happen this year. It's just that it's a process. We have to trust it for sure. So with all these roles, like Coach Cody's been doing this over 15 years, so he understands the assignment. He was actually a great hire. He's a Cecelia guy for sure. Nobody sees the work that he does on and off. So we get a chance to see that. We endure it, and we understand what it is. So to answer your question, Coach, we understand the standard. We know what it is, and expectations are very, 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 very high for us. We're not looking too much at what's going on the outside right now. We're on the inside, in our core, we're in our element, our niche. We know what we want, and our expectations. So just be on the lookout for us, man. We've been there. Again, I'm gonna kind of keep saying it, stick to that concept. We've been there before, so we just gotta put in the work. We gotta trust the process. We got guys that can play in space. We got guys that are very smart, very intelligent. A lot of people may count us out. A lot of people may roll with us. It doesn't really matter. We know the expectations and we know what's gonna happen. We got a great community. We got great administrators that believe in us for sure. The school, just in general, they understand the assignment. They want to win. They understand the expectations to win. So collectively, together, all of us, again, I'm going to stick to the standard. We pretty much know what it is, Coach. And this year, just be looking for us to actually meet our expectations and be great. And as a staff, we're going to support Coach Scotty and everything that he does. We're going to make sure that he be successful, because that's the goal. We all understand our assignment, and we understand what we're going to bring to the table.
Well, that's the biggest thing I've noticed and endured since being here. We do have a great unity and we stick together, no matter if we're a soccer coach or volleyball coach or what have you. And what you just said in a nutshell was, we done set the standard. We built the program to be a championship program, which we are. We're not turning back. We want to continue to work championship mentality, championship workout, everything is built on being a champion. So let's not take what you have accomplished and just throw it away by being inconsistent. Am I right?
Correct.
Well, we're going to turn to, you got two outstanding young men here, players. You got top 100 player in the country as a junior, Breaux College. We have one of the most outstanding and dynamic young defensive player in the state, and Frankie Frank. We're going to turn to you guys right now. We're going to start with Breaux. Breaux, first and foremost, good morning, and how are you? I'm doing good. Man, I say that it's so good for me to be around you young men, because I watch y'all through the hallways every day. I watch y'all at the meeting. From last year being, you watch a lot of young men when you're winning, you carry it on your shoulder like, we're this, we're that. But you guys never did that. That's what made me so impressed with you young men. You're so humble that the week of state championship, nobody knew who was going to play for the state championship. But nobody was just down the hallway screaming and hollering anything about I'm this and I'm that. And I found that was so much of a championship mentality that Coach Alfonso just mentioned. So let's talk about new coaching staff, got a new look, but in an old way. How are you feeling about it, and tell us a little bit about the 2025?
I mean, it kind of hit all the nails on the head, you know, being that it was already there, so we already had that, you know. It's like, nothing really changed, you know. We already knew they wanted, we wanted, you know. We didn't really have to get used to a new coach or nothing. Everybody was, you know, the same basic, so nobody came in there trying to, you know, change the culture or nothing like that. I feel like everything was just, you know, kept the same. Smooth transition overall.
Well, let me say this to you about you personally. We you know, you read up the hype, you hear about Breaux College, but you're so humble, man, and stay like that. Keep your feet on the ground and keep God first. But coming into that role like should be your team on the offensive side of the ball, how you have embraced that role so far, being a leader?
I mean, I know personally, I can't do it all by myself, you know. It's 10 of them on the field with me, so I have to embrace that, you know, that I'm not Superman. You know, I can't do it without my line. I can't do it without my receivers. I can't do it without coach. I can't do it without, you know, the rest of the coaches on the coaching staff. So I feel like everything could go as fast as it can, you know. So I feel like staying humble is the most important thing. Just life generally.
You're handling well, like I said, that word again, humble. You do a great job of being humble. You know you're going to have a target on your back this year. Everybody, I heard it the other night, you know, the sideline that the kid could stay top of it. Man, when you're a top 100 athlete, everybody's going to chase you. You might go to the restaurant, you might get tackled down in there, but don't feel bad. We're looking to hit Breaux College. But to tell all these other young athletes what it takes to be a great guy.
To be honest, I'm going to say it again, you know. Humble is the best way to be. You know, but the most important part about my, you know, athletic journey is putting in the work for nobody.
Amen. Right. Amen. Correct.
I mean, the universe knows what you put in, it's only going to give you back what you put in. You know? You can't expect something that you never put the work in for. You know? If you're going to practice every day, yeah, that's fine. But what you doing after practice? That's the part that we can do.
Well, we had an athlete, we're going to just talk about him, and Diesel Cecelia. When I first met Diesel, I was coaching basketball. basketball, and one day I went up there Friday night to bring the concession stand up. And I see a kid come out from the football field by himself. So I'm like, he said, I'm working out, just running. And that's why he was so successful. And I can see how it carried along to you guys, that everything you have done in the past with being successful came as a unit. And that says a lot with all of you guys. And that says a lot from the coaching staff. Because y'all build those guys into these young men. So we're gonna bring in Frankie right quick. Frankie, I call you double left. You know, you and Brent Gordon are best friends. Y'all talk a lot because I know that somewhat personal. Now you become the defensive guy that calls the signal. You the one in the huddle that motivates the guy. Are you ready? And how will you embrace this role this year?
And they know the job is
Kind of hold it like this. You got it. So, okay. Listen, I was shy too when they brought me on TV way back. You know what? When you're a champion, you love it. But anyway, you started as a freshman. You played in some of the biggest games that people would dream about playing in. How was those experiences made you better as a person? It made you better as a player.
well, made me better player because I was through everything. It's not much that I don't go on until I experience it. So when it's big games, I'm more motivated. I'm ready to play.
That's what it takes from a leader. And then you guys are young. Y'all both juniors, right? Man, Cody, you got some talent here in the next couple of years. Let me get your assessment of these young men. First, Brandon Conley. Let's talk about him.
Well, first of all, I talk to Brandon a lot, and I tell him you got to work like you have no stars, and he always tells me that too. So, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing that, first of all, they have great parents. They have great parents who are always looking out for them, and that's another reason why they're successful because, their parents always push them to be great. So, I mean, they have a great support staff in that part. But yeah, Braylon, Braylon is always there. Like when you need a smile or something like that, he'll help you out. And just as a player, as a person, it's just unbelievable. And then you have Frankie next to you. Frankie is always that person who's always ready to grind and always wanting more. And he keeps asking when I'm gonna get on offense. So when you give me a couple more picks on defense, then I'll get you out there. So Frank, and the best is yet to come. I think with these two because I think both of their roles are going to grow on both sides of the ball as they get older. As the season progresses, and also next year. So I think you're going to start seeing these guys a lot, all over the field.
Well, we are expecting a lot from these two young men because we know where they've been as players. And another thing I want to add to what you just said. You're right, great parents, great people, and they're so humble. Excuse me, when they walking down the hallway, they don't realize how many eyes are watching. They're so humble and so gratified for what they have accomplished. And the biggest thing, they allow all of us to share the journey with them, and that's amazing because, like you said, it takes a village to raise all of the kids. But you have two great players here. Do you want to touch a little bit on the offensive side? Who else we can expect a lot, or you're expecting a lot from?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you have Braylon, you have Jaden Lewis. I think he's going to have a breakout year. I think you have Dory at quarterback. I think, once he gets going, he's going to be pretty good at playing quarterback. You got, obviously, JJ, who's been playing for 3 years in the slot. DeAndre Briscoe, you're going to see DeAndre Briscoe playing a little more F and college, playing a little more H out there. And you also have Malik Joseph to look out for. And, don't sleep on Ashton Ruff because Ruffin's going to come around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's when I turned the game on last night, Ellis wasn't in the game, and they were down, and then all of a sudden, I think they 7 points. Ellis scored his first.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right, Ellis.
Yes, sir. He put his first.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations to you and they because that's all he scored for everybody.
Yes, sir. And that's actually Ashton's brother. Ellis.
Right. Amazing, man.
And O-line wise, I think you have Jabbar Seville, who's going to be a mainstay at tackle for us.
Didn't he step in last year
against Blackwood?
When we went and he did an outstanding job.
Yeah, it's a big win. Yeah, I think he's gonna be great. James DeLuna, who's a sophomore, playing center. Coach touched about how important that snap is, and I think he's getting consistent with that too. So that's very important in the ball shotgun snap. So that's important. Blue, you have Blue out there. I think Blue is playing a new position. Jernette, so he's learned that position. He might end up moving. I'm not sure yet, but we're gonna see how things move forward. But Blue's the guy who started all 15 games last year for us at the guard. So, and you have a couple other guys mixing in there on the O-line. So that's a group that's going to deal as we move forward.
All right, well, everybody is so looking forward to watching some football. As you seen the other night for Jamboree, we had a heck of a crowd out there. A lot of schools brought a lot of fans to tell people we're ready for football. Okay, guys, we are live here at Poche in Breaux, and this segment is also sponsored by the Hall of Fame Kickoff Club. St. Woodville, Tyrone Bucket Jones, president, and Brother Brian is vice president. All the famers have given back to St. Martin Parish and Lafayette Parish as a scholarship money each year and over the last couple of years. And they have been in this. Thank you again. All the flamers. So we're live here at Poche Sports Talk. Me, Scotty Borel, we're here with the defending state champion, head coach Coach offensive single guy, and our dean of student Alfonso Williams. Braylon Collie here on my far right, and Frankie Frank here on my closest to my right. We go back to the players. Players, what can we expect? What can we tell the fans about the 2025 Bulldogs?
It's going to be, I feel like it's going to be just like last year. Never been a year being ready to do that. We don't want to bring that. Just three.
Well, that's a heck of a streak, man. You know how many kids in the area would just love to play one game in the dome? I mean, I've never played football, but I'll have a chance to experience that with you guys, and I thought it was amazing just to be there. So, Braylon, what you gonna tell the fans? What can we expect from you guys? And tell them to come on out, which you don't have a problem doing that because, man, they're gonna come out.
To be honest, I only got 2 ways to say. To Coach Fine, we coming.
All right. Coach Fine, we bring you back in. They call you the chief for a reason. See, I must say though, I want to say this. He was really one of the reasons I started working on. And we sat down and said, Coach, we need more people like you to give us some exposure. I was watching on the sideline, so I want to say personally to you too. Thank you for encouraging me to do something like this. And you do a lot. Lead the students, offensive, single guy, head basketball coach. Are you going to be the head wrestling coach?
We're trying to get wrestling, we're trying to get tennis and swimming in CHS. I think that's something issues they would acquire if they're able. You never know now. But all jokes on the side, really blessed, big time coach. We got a great administration that trust and believe in us for sure. I know you spoke on our kids just now, but people don't realize how well-rounded they are on and off the field and courts with all the extracurricular activities that they do. The grades are great, and it speaks volumes. Our SPS scores are very high at THS with 89.9, pretty much almost an A school, so we're blessed. I want to thank you, Coach, for putting this on your platform for sure. We're going to have a lot of conversations. We're going to continue conversations. Sports Talk is going to be great, guys, so just continue to tune in. And then our head coach, Coach Cody, listen, it's a blessing to have him out there for sure. He's our guy. We got to make sure that we respect and we just trust the process, because a lot of great things are going to happen. That's the great things that I always mention, that great things are going to happen. And Cecelia and Brandon, you're correct. We're coming for sure. And man, it's a great opportunity to be in our shoes. We're blessed big time. You know, that's what a lot of people don't. We're very humble. That's the word y'all used earlier. We're very humble in certain ways, but you'll definitely see us coming for sure. We ain't hard to find, you know. So we're gonna definitely line up for sure. We're gonna play fast on the offensive side. On the defensive side, we're gonna fly around for sure. Gonna be very excited to watch. And I'm like you, Coach. We're blessed. The past 2 years, those young men have got an opportunity to actually play in the dome twice. We've got a chance to coach there twice. And I can tell you this much, Coach Scotty is working right now to make sure that we get an opportunity to actually do it again. We're excited. We're excited for sure. And we just want to thank you, Coach, for the platform, for sure. And guys, appreciate you coming up on a Sunday, early morning. Yeah. Listen, Coach Scotty got some great things in store for us coming up, man.
Well, every time I reach out to you guys, y'all support me, and I appreciate all the support that the community has given me this year too. We started 1 year ago with a volleyball show, and I redid the volleyball show last week. So we're 1 year in, and like I tell everybody, this is St. Martin Parish and surrounding parish, but St. Martin Parish platform. I want to go out and support all the young men and all the young ladies in all the sports. We're currently trying to put together a cheer and dance show. So if anybody watching out there, call me at 337-257-5285. We're putting on a cheer and dance show program. Strictly free, only for the kids to go out and showcase their talent. Because these young men need these cheerleaders at the game, and our basketball players need these cheerleaders at the game. Because you ever played in a game with no fans when we had Cody, you would realize how bad it was. But Cody, back to you, brother. Man, all this talent you surrounded, bless all you have all this talent.
All right, blessed. But I guess my final message would be, the big thing is we talk about too is there was last year's team that won the state championship. This team has a lot to prove. The big thing we talk about all the time is and they're starting to realize that is they have a target on their back, and they're gonna get everybody's A game from here on out. So first of all, that's a privilege, number one. But we gotta know that. I think they're figuring that out, that we're gonna get everybody's A game no matter who. Yeah, and I think and I think they're realizing that. I think the big thing is when Coach Gaines was the head coach, they understood that when things went wrong, they trusted that he would fix it. And I think with me, they're trying to find that out. So and I gotta prove that I can do it. So it's a lot of yes, a lot of great things happen, but we still have a lot to prove.
Well, Cody, we talked earlier before the show started, and I interviewed you after the Jamboree game. I can't say it quote unquote, but you gave me a statement that stuck in my head for the whole weekend, and I mentioned that to you earlier when I asked you what needs to be done. The preseason, you said, first I'm going to go back and get myself together on what I need to work on, so I can go back and get them together. And you didn't, it's not word for word, but I know what you meant, and what you said right there, it stuck with me for the whole weekend. I'm like, man, you're growing up as a coach, because every coach has room for improvement. Ain't no coach that I don't need to go back to. But long story short, I thought that was one of the most outstanding statements of any coach. Let me get myself together so I can make sure I get that. So that was a great statement. So guys, we're going to go back to you one more time and tell the fans to come on out and support you guys, and why.
Y'all come out and support. I feel like we're going to get defeated, but everyone going back to our home.
Brandon, why we should come on out and support you guys this year?
Every time you step foot in Cecelia, there's going to be a movie, whether it's a football game, basketball game, volleyball game, soccer game, anywhere. And I just feel like it's going to be a movie every time, so I feel like I should just bring it.
And guess who's starring in it? Breaux College. And guess who starred in it? Breaux College and Cecelia Borel. And you know what? He was here. I gave him a name. I got to get you one too. I used to call them Dennis Kings and the No Quit Bulldogs. They never quit. So sooner or later, it's gonna hit me one day. And I'm gonna be like, Coach Scotty, you are, because you know we grew up on nicknames around here. So it's excuse me, right now.
Coach, he's steering the ship, man. That's where you order that from right now.
Oh, it's gonna hit me one day. We'll be like, but we want to congratulate you, Cody Champagne. You've done an outstanding job since I've been up to see. People didn't realize you were also the softball coach. So you was doing offensive duty on football, going around to the practice trying to get this softball field together and get these young ladies ready to play, which you've done that because you signed off softball players who are playing college sports right now. So hats off to you, yes, sir. Personally, man to man, I'm proud of you. And you're a great young man. Keep up doing what you're doing. Alfonso, great job. They could have brought in a better person. Man, I don't know when to sleep. All I was going to sleep. Because the dude, damn, 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, you get a text. And about 4:15, you get another one. Go to sleep. But the defending state champion, Cecelia Bulldogs, we were live here at Poche. We want to thank Mr. Floyd Poche for everything he does for high school sport and the community in St. Martin.
And you too, Coach. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Hey, man, this is Sports Talk. We want to thank 2 outstanding juniors, Braylon College, Frankie Frank. Look out for these young men. I want to say this too. There are 2 great outstanding students. They're not just great athletes or football players. There are 2 great student athletes, and you could check and see if you want. The record was never lied. So this has been Sports Talk here at Poche Sunday morning. Man, the 2025 football season will kick off. Before we go, we're at St. Martinville next week. What's your prediction?
Yeah, look, St. Martinville's a pretty decent team, and guys can start all in the teams for us. So, we got to be prepared because they're a team that can beat us. So we got to prepare. And like I said, they're going to give us our best shot, especially a parish rival. And they hadn't beat us in a while, so they're going to be prepared and ready to roll. We just got to match their intensity.
Well, game 1 next week in St. Martinville, ladies and gentlemen. We will be the Cecelia Bulldogs, the defending state champions at St. Martinville next Friday at 7 o'clock kickoff time. The new 2025 season is underway in a few more days. Once again, we want to thank Floyd for having us here. We want to thank the Hall of Famers. We want to thank T-Mobile for the coaches gift. We want to thank everybody that attended and supported Sports Talk. We are out of here. Once again, Coach Cody Champagne, Coach Alfonso Williams, Dean of Students, Braylon College, Frankie Frank. I am Coach Scotty Borel with Sports Talk. Have a great day. Appreciate you.
Thank you.